Hey guys, so today's the big day. I've been waiting this for a while. If you follow my last video, we just put carbon fiber top. It's got carbon fiber on the top and the bottom, 75 pounds off the car with its roof panel. If not, I'll refer you in the links to that video. And so now we're gonna drop another, hopefully around 40 pounds rotating mass off the car. So if you follow my channel, you know that I have been waiting for these for a while. These are carbon ceramic discs for factory OEM. This is my fingerprints where I'm touching. From Competition Carbon. And I've been waiting for these for about 3 months or so. They are made in a Chinese factory. And I got these, all in all, cost $7,000, which is still quite a bit cheaper than anything competition-wise, as far as carbon ceramic rotors. Now, these fit your factory iron brakes. And so these are gonna be direct replacements with different pads for these brakes. And the reason is because the rotating mass is significantly less. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be testing these out, putting these on the car, doing a test fit. The pads are a little different, so I'm hoping these mount up okay. They just look a little different than with factory. Factory, especially on these rears, have two different holes here for the mounting points. So I'm a little concerned that these may not work. We'll see. So the plan is to get these mounted, weigh them, which I've done already. I'll post that here in just a little bit. And because I already know these are 14 pounds, depending on its front or rear, or 13 and a half pounds, basically. There's a difference in diameter front to back. So we're gonna get started. I am going to do, next we're gonna do baseline braking data. And we're gonna take the car and we are going to go and do some 60 to 0 stops. Now these will be on factory tires. So this will be on Nitos in the back, 345s, and slightly smaller front Continentals, which is very similar to Stingray size, and this is for rotating mass changes. So don't expect like hero numbers, but it's gonna give me a baseline from my car, what I'll be doing. So I'll get at least a couple 60 to 0 stops using dragy, get my times and distance for that, and then we're gonna swap these on, do a burnishing procedure, and then get repeat time, see if these stop as well. Because obviously if you're gonna be doing a swap, you don't want to be swapping to something that's gonna be inferior product-wise. So we will be able to determine that and hash that out today. And in the interest of thoroughness, I do wanna show you guys something. Just because I don't want anybody ever misled. I do have a few concerning areas on these, which I've reached out to manufacturer. So this is the one in particular. If you look along here, there's a couple of spots like here. They're tiny, about 1 millimeter. Where it looks almost like a chip missing. It's gonna be kind of hard to capture that. The rest of the rotor looks really good, but there's that. I sent this to the manufacturer, and the other ones are pretty good. I mean, I don't really see much of that. I think there's like a tiny little, you can see where that'll probably wear off at the top layer. It looks like some trash or something got stuck in the resin. So if you looked all the way through, most of them look really good. That one has me a little concerned. Now, they did say if I have issues, so if this were to come apart or have any issues from that standpoint, that they will honor obviously replacement to go ahead and run this. So I'm gonna run this, I'm gonna watch that closely, and I'm doing this for documentation purposes to kind of show you kind of what they look like. This is the inner parts, you can see the hardware. Hardware looks pretty nice. The hats are nice, forged aluminum material. The fasteners look pretty good, mostly like OEM quality. And then here's your cuts on the sides. And each one of them, I'm assuming, has like maybe a weight counterweight cut. I'm not sure. Right here on each one, they each have that. I'm sure it's like a counterweight or something to keep the weights all the same. And you can look through all and just give you an idea exactly what you're getting here. Like I said, I don't want anyone misled from front to rear on what you're getting by purchasing this. I also want to be completely as unbiased as possible in my assessment of this. So now, let's go ahead and get our stock weights. So I already know, I'll have mine off, but I know that my stock rotors weigh about 24 pounds. That's a give or take. So you've got a larger diameter front and rears here on the car. And so we're gonna take this and set these down. So there'll be a slightly different weight between the two. So here we go. All right, so first rotor is 13.9 pounds. All right, we're gonna swap the second. Second one is 14.3. Okay. 14.3 and 14. So 13.9, 14.0, 14.3, 14.3. So roughly 14 pounds. And then we'll get the brake pad weights as well when I have those off. So, all right. Right now we're at up to 70 miles an hour. Trying to get a little straighter area. This is kind of a downgrade, so go a little further. Hold on. Alright, so ABS activated. Ready, big brake, big brake, big brake, brake! Okay. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm gonna look at the data and see where we're at. Okay. First, we're gonna disconnect our battery. I've already loosened my cable. Anytime we're dealing with the brake system, since there are sensors down there, you want to have it disconnected. Alright, and so now we are gonna go and pull the rear wheels off, jack the car up. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, all right, we're gonna get started. A couple interesting things. Look at my wear pattern on my stock brakes. You can see it's like, it's not super even. And these are just OEM, but I've done a lot of hard braking from fast speeds. But one thing you notice about these pads is they've got dual lock pin areas. So you got one down lower and then you got one higher. I don't know what the reason is for this top one. I don't know if these are just leftover pads from some other application, why they have two, but for whatever reason they do. And so we're gonna take these off and make sure that these other ones fit, because that's what's different about the pads that I have and these. And so I'm only gonna do one side in case there's a problem. We can just abort the whole thing for right now. And another interesting tidbit, which a lot of you already know, once you pull these pins out, these pads should be able to pop out from the top because they're designed to be able to pull that without having to fully take off your caliper. So that's what we're gonna do next, is try to get these pins off and then kind of go from there. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna knock these pins out and then we should be able to pull the pads out. It's got a retaining clip there, but and they just pull up from the back. Just put some clip in. And this is all they are. Hey, Brooks, no whammies on this now. There's our pins. They're locking. And then here's our retainer clip. That's what it looks like. All right, we're gonna test these, see if these are gonna work or not. All right, so here's your Brembo factory pads. Pretty nice looking units. So here's the question. Do these line up, these pieces? That's what I've got to figure out right now. And we are in luck. See, they line up. So they are good. One thing you'll notice, factory's got grease here. Pay attention where your grease areas are. Grease, stop squealing. Grease in the corners, don't need to do that. These don't have any wear indicators, but also this is quite a bit thicker in thickness. So I'm gonna have to compress these calipers quite a bit to get these on. I actually don't have that tool. I can use the stock pads and kind of pry it, but actually I want to buy the tool, so we're gonna go. All right, first thing's gonna be removing your e-brake caliper. It's 15 millimeters, so there's 2 bolts on the back side that your caliper mounts. And so we're gonna take that and we're gonna set this off to the side. It does have a connector, it's electronic. Okay, and then that's off, set to the side, hanging. So now we're gonna take, and you've got 2 mount bolts right here, 1 and 2, 18 millimeters. So we're gonna take those, others are 15s. So we're gonna loosen those and then we should be able to slide this to the side, and I've got a hook that I'm gonna hold the caliper on and hook it up here on this spring. Okay, so I got the calipers hanging up. And now to get the rotors off, this is the T30 to get loose. So you knock that loose and then you can slide the rotor out. And the e-brake's hanging over there. So hopefully it's not on the wire. Didn't think it was. Yeah, okay, so it's good. All right. So then we'll just take these out and then this should somewhat torqued. Okay. All right, so now she's off. Now we can swap the other ones on and kind of go from there. Okay, so the rear rotors weigh 24.6 pounds on the rear. That's gonna be the big ones that weigh 14, so basically 10.5 pound savings per rotor, so that should be interesting. All right, so the old one's off, got the new one. Some thin gloves on. No, big bucks, no whammies. All right, so it looks like 35 foot-pounds for these. These in the front are like 150 foot-pounds, or 155, which is insane to think about. And on the rear, it's showing 75 plus 15 or 30 degrees, turns almost 85 foot-pounds for these. I cannot believe how much more torque the front ones have, almost double what these rears do. So that's kind of interesting. So anyways, keep that in mind. So 35. All right, so I had to use my old pads to get them to kind of slide in there easily. Put my old pads since there's less clearance. Use those to pull the piston back. And then I was able to slide these in. And so these are now in. So you're gonna want your locking piece, spring load, and then you can drive these back through the other way. And so I'll do that. I'm gonna go off camera to pop those in. Basically that's gonna pop through, hold tension on the pads, and we should be good to go. Okay, so rear's done. You can see it looks OEM-ish, 10 pounds off. Now we're gonna do the front. All right, a couple things on the front. You got a 13 millimeter back here. This is your main piston support. This is gonna allow this to set in, create tension on the pads, and then so we're gonna pop these out just like we did before with a punch. We're gonna take the center bolt out. That's gonna put our release here for our tension. Okay, so these rear are no joke. I've tried to have a breaker set up with a hammer. I'm gonna actually have to hit it with the down impact and see if that's gonna do it. These are 150 foot-pounds is not easy to do with. God bless. All right, so fronts are 23.7 compared to 13.9, so 10 pounds. So it's 40 pounds easy. And for the record, this is the one that's got that little spot right here for documentation purposes. Got it greased. All right, so now they slid in. So now we're just gonna reverse the process, get the hardware. I'm not gonna show that, but basically that's all you gotta do. And then we should have these locked back in. And then this side's done. Okay, all right, stay tuned. Okay, so other side's loose, about to take apart, got the pads out. One thing that Justin pointed out is your caliper mounting bolts are torque to yield. I wasn't aware of that, so I've got to order some before I can finish. I've got all the wheels off and it's still up in the air, so not a big deal, but theoretically you're supposed to have new caliper bolts. So I'm gonna pull these off and we'll look at the markings on there, see if I can source them. So just keep that in mind, that really if you want to do it right, I mean, you can reuse them, but if you really want to do it like per OEM spec, you need to replace them. So I'm gonna see kind of how much they're worth. But quick look, it looks like they're like not cheap, like 13 bucks a pop or something, at least on eBay. So I'm gonna see if I can find some more. I'll do some research tonight. So anyways, I'm gonna carry on with what I'm doing, and we're gonna order for those, and then I can just swap those on. It won't take 2 seconds. So, all right. Okay, so we are done. Everything's on. I did order, and I'll post on here, new caliper bolts. I did not realize they were torque to yield. I should have known that, but I did not. So got those coming. I've got these already torqued down. I'm gonna probably burnish and then just swap them when they come in. They'll be in a few days. So anyway, so we are done. So here's what we're doing now. So we are going to bleed the brakes. I've still got the battery off, just so it doesn't break the computer out. And I'm going to hook up. You've got two sides, each caliper, front and rear, or side to side. And so basically what you do with the vacuum bleeder is you're going to take compressed air, you hook it up to this side, this pops on here, and then you just turn a quarter turn and it sucks the air, and you just wait till you get a good flow of fluid. And the way that it's able to do that is on the front, I've got .4 fluid, this is Valvoline, and so this has a gravity feed and it mounts onto here. And so as it pulls, it's gonna keep this full. So it's just gonna suck the air out. So I'm gonna go through and hit each one, make sure I get good pedal throw so it doesn't pass, so it passes the system checks whenever I turn the car back on. If the brake pedal's not firm, it's gonna fail, it's gonna throw a code, and then I'm not gonna do anything. So that's my plan. I'm not gonna show this just because I've just explained what I'm gonna be doing. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm gonna go through and hit all these other ones. This video is getting a little long-winded, and for that reason, I'm going to not show this part. But anyways, that's how you vacuum bleed. I recommend getting one. Got this one at Harbor Freight, it's like $100. You can buy them all over the place. You can do hand bleeders or whatever, but this also makes it a one-person job, which I really like because it makes things just a lot easier. All right, so the moment I've been waiting for. We're gonna check the weight. So I got my scales underneath. We're gonna lower it down. Now this is with 3/4 tank of fuel. So we'll have to subtract the fuel to get the dry weight. I'm hoping for sub 35. So I'm hoping for. That's gonna be pretty damn light than I expected. Okay, so we're sub 34. And that's with like 3/4 tank of fuel. So holy crap. All right, nice. Okay. Now I'm about to find out if I bled the brakes enough or if it's gonna throw a code. It'll either move or it won't. I'm definitely nervous. Brake pedal feels pretty good, so let's see if it passes diagnostics. Reset it, see if it comes back. Alright. U0401. Is that it? Okay. U codes are easy body codes. I don't know if that's something to do when I had it up or what, but it's gone. We'll start the car again, see if it comes back. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't know if it's something to do with the way I had it off or lifting it or something. I don't know. Either way, it's gone. It's fine. Alrighty, we're good. All right, guys, we're gonna do the burnishing procedure. That's gonna be long. It's like 62 stops. I'm gonna do as much as I can to try to keep it as close to factory. I'm gonna post that here. You'll see it on the screen. And the reason I'm doing this is it's supposed to heat up the pad material, kind of expel some of the gases that can build up on the pad material, and then have a more uniform contact area from the pads themselves. And so that's basically one of the main reasons why you do it. I guess with CCBs in particular, they can feel not quite as firm if you do not do the procedure, especially before track time, compared to like iron brakes. So I want this to be an equivalent test of comparing these to my factory ones, since I had like 8,000 miles, even though I did not burnish my iron ones. stopped 112 feet from 60 to 0. The Z07 package car with Cup 2s stops what they list at 97 feet. So I was about 15 feet off of that with a drag pack. So to me, if I'm within 15 feet with a 235 on the front, I'm pretty much spot on what the factory CCBs will be. That's my guess. If I put my other wheels and tires on here, I bet we'd be right there. So I'm happy with it. I examined the rotors when I got out after they were smoking, just to kind of take a look at them, make sure they still all look good, everything looks good. The initial bite that I'm feeling on these feels great, even better than my iron. Now another thing I need to add, another caveat, the bite is great on these, say 40 pounds in the car. I did do a 60 to 130. So I actually did a 60 to 130 later in good air. This is what you're seeing here. It's definitely faster, 100% faster. But the DA was like 2,000, something like that. So it's pretty hot, and there really wasn't a change in my 60 to 130, so I didn't notice that. I think I'll definitely see a change when it's a little cooler. And I'm also running like straight 93 from a shitty gas station. I don't have the little bit of E85. I normally like to run like a gallon or two. I don't have that in here. So my times for my 60 to 130 were pretty much equivalent. There wasn't much of a difference between before and after, but stands to reason. Physics says you drop 40 pounds, it will be faster on accelerated. That's just physics. So anyways, that's it. That's close this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will say, I kind of hard on products. I don't usually give a review where I say, 100%, well, yeah, you should get this. If I had to do this over again, would I've gone the OEM route? Depending on the price, if it was within $1,000, probably. But I don't know what the weights of the factory CCB calipers are. They're definitely heavier, so maybe not. I'm happy with this purchase personally. It works for me for what my goals are, which is to go fast. I want to go faster. This gives me the lightest weight possible to do that. And so for me, this was worth the money. I still came out ahead. So it's up to you. This is definitely going to be a niche purchase for certain groups. Not going to be for everyone, but if you have the iron rotors, you don't like getting the brake dust and all that crap that comes along with it, then this might be a good option. And obviously long-term testing still remains to be seen on these, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get them as hot as I did during the burnishing procedure. I got them pretty fucking hot. So if they survive that, they're probably going to be fine, most likely. And also the company says that they're going to stand behind it if something were to happen. I don't know what the warranty time frame or mileage is right now, but I know at least in the near future, should I have any issues, they will replace them. So I'm happy with it. The company that I got them for was Competition Carbon, Koa Nugent. I'm probably butchering his name. That's the gentleman that I purchased them from. This was the first set that I'm aware of that went out. There's another set following it. They were waiting on the drilling. I didn't want the drilling, so I got impatient. But anyways, all right. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys later. And the next video, I've got the Corsa intake. Since I've got a JLT, the Corsa intake will be here next week, and actually be here in like 3 days. And so once I have it, I plan on putting it on and some install stuff and testing to see if it's better than my JLT. I think it's gonna be better than my JLT, and I can't wait to get weights and stuff like that. Ultimately, I think I'll end up with even tree, but I'm gonna try this out at the price point. Let you guys know what I think. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the flip side.